Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Smarter Control with CloudConnexa. In this demo session, we'll be taking a closer look at the new OpenVPN MCP server and how it leverages the Model Context Protocol and the power of LLMs to let administrators interact with and navigate CloudConnexa without friction. And joining us shortly is Dimitar Dobrev. He's the product manager for OpenVPN with a focus on CloudConnexa, and he's from Bulgaria and has over 2 decades of experience in tech and network security. So what is the OpenVPN MCP server? It acts as the translator between an AI client and CloudConnexa, turning your natural language requests into the API calls that CloudConnexa understands. This means that you can easily prompt an AI agent to instantly retrieve the exact information you need in order to save time and streamline your workflows. Specifically, you could get instant insights into to easily identify unusual user behaviors, vulnerabilities, and threats, and retrieve information about your network configurations and access policies without having to navigate the UI to quickly verify your security posture and compliance status. And then finally, it can also help leverage an LLM's advanced reasoning capabilities to help accelerate analysis and troubleshooting. Now we'll shift to Dimitar and see the OpenVPN MCP server in action.
Hello everyone, my name is Dimitar Dobrev and I'm product manager at OpenVPN's CloudConnexa. Today I want to show something exciting we have built as part of few AI initiatives we're working on. You see in action the CloudConnexa MCP server. For those of you that don't know, MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. It was built by the folks at Anthropic, one of the more popular LLM providers. MCP is used as a standard by large language models to interact with external tools. So if you want your AI or LLM model to do something more than answer based on pre-existing knowledge, and let's say perform actions for you, you'd normally do that through MCP in the background. CloudConnexa MCP server enables you to interact with your ZTNA environment via natural language. This simplifies navigation of menus and user interfaces that can sometimes seem complex or time consuming. Now, let me quickly show you the MCP server in action. So, to get started, all you have to do is download the repository from OpenVPN's GitHub. Then you have to download MCP client of your choosing. Here for this demo, we have chosen Fire App. It's available for Windows, Mac. And once you have downloaded the app and you have extracted the CloudConnexa MCP repository, all you have to do is run the startup script and the MCP server will get going. And here it is running. So you go back to the Fire app and you prepare to ask the AI some questions. So let's first see what are the available operations. Here are all the capabilities that the current MCP server provides. So you can ask about hosts, users, networks, connectors, and many others. What you can also do is change the LLM model to any other of your choosing. All you have to do is add the API key of your favorite LLM provider, such as Gemini or Anthropic, and you can change it. So let's actually get some real data. Let's see which users of mine are online right now. And here it is. I have one user, Dimitar Dobrev, says I'm online, but let's check this. And here it is, I am online. So what else can we ask? Let's ask something a little bit more advanced. For example, visit the domains in the last 1 hour. So instead of going to CloudConnexa, going to DNS log feature, setting up filters, you can just ask for such data here in your MCP client. And here it is. For example, I have visited Atlassian. Let's verify that. We will go now to the DNS log feature. Here is a list of the domains in the last 24 hours. And here it is, Atlassian. All right. So what else? Basically, the only limitation is we currently support read-only operations. In the future, that will change, and you'll be able to add new users, change any of your settings, such as device posture and so on, via natural language. But for the first release of the MCP server, we have imposed that limitation until we can also provide configuration restoration via the MCP server. So let's also check my currently configured host names and applications. Let's verify the result. And here they are. We can also ask the AI to analyze and summarize our configuration, in which case it will base those summarizations and reasonings on real data from your tenant. Let's also check our device posture settings. And here is the answer within a few seconds. There is no currently configured device posture, but let's verify that information. Users device posture. And there it is, there is a one. All right, and that actually concludes the demo. The possibilities what you can do via the MCP server are quite many, and you can even add additional MCP servers that are not related to CloudConnexa and automate many of your daily workflows. Now, let me just say that that's just the beginning. We plan on making the AI experience even more seamless in the future, but for now, the goal of CloudConnexa MCP server is to allow our customers to independently use the service externally via AI. And that wraps it up. However, rest assured, there is much more to come in way of AI features we're working on. And thank you for watching.
All right, a big thank you to Dimitar, and thank you for joining us live for that demo.
Thank you, Jason. Hello, everyone. Welcome, and thank you for joining as well.
Awesome. And quickly, I wanted to just cover some 6 FAQ questions. But of course, during this time while I'm covering them, please feel free to drop some questions in the chat or Q&A, and Dimitar can answer them live. So, quickly, where can you download the MCP server? You can get that from our official GitHub repository. I'll be sure to leave the link in the chat. And then in terms of what AI agents or AI clients are currently supported, that includes Fire, Cloud Desktop, Cloud Code, Cursor, and VS Code. And for those wondering, which LLM model should we use? From our performance tests, GPT-5 has shown to be better when compared with GPT-4 and O4 mini models. And then in terms of what you need to use the MCP server, you would of course need a CloudConnexa account, Docker installed and running, and a supported MCP client like the ones just mentioned. And regarding what actions are currently supported, currently it's only read-only tools available, such as listing users, checking device posture policy, etc. But quickly expanding a list, which I'm sure Dimitar will speak to. And then finally, for additional documentation, you can find the MCP server guide in the CloudConnexa documentation. All right, so now we'll open the floor to any questions.
Yeah, it seems quiet out there for now. So yes, meanwhile we're waiting for any questions. I would just confirm that we plan to introduce the right operations, modifications, and so on, make that possible. But we wanted to make sure that we have the configuration restoration capability before that, just to be on the safe side. And on the subject of LLM models, yes, GPT-5 was performing best for very complex queries specifically, but you can get, for many of the queries, just as good answers from 4.1, for example, as well, sometimes even faster. Actually, yeah, hi Yuri, good question. And yes, you can. That kind of data is available, and even if it's not available from one endpoint, it will be combined by the LLM and you will get your answer. In fact, one of our goals is introduce even more endpoints that can provide you more complex answers for such queries. Thank you, Johan, for that question. Yes, there will be most likely at some point we are going to announce, but it will be not as predictable as just an AI thing inside. It will be much bolder in terms of capabilities. And as Kirill said, it will be a whole different approach towards ZTNA. But I think it's best to show this when the time comes, as the effect will be much different. And I want to preserve the anticipation. Thanks, Jason, for the link. All right. Well, thanks everyone for the questions. And thank you, Jason, for everything you have prepared.
Oh, actually, we have one more question
Right.
before I let you go.
All right. From Constantine, I haven't worked with ChatGPT professionally. Will MCP server send my question as is to ChatGPT? Well, the MCP server is not yet compatible with ChatGPT. It will be eventually. It takes a little bit of time for ChatGPT to make everything is easy to plug in terms of MCP servers. So when it is compatible, the LLM model of ChatGPT is going to translate your question to the appropriate MCP tools that will be invoked. So yes, it will be sent as is, but there is the interpretation of the LLM model that will decide how your question is translated, because the MCP server receives two calls or two invocations. It doesn't receive your question as is. Right, from Eric. Can I find correlate traffic for certain users with specific time date stamps? Maybe an application because ZTNA shows weird behavior in the logs and I want to trace it back to OpenVPN users who were routing to it at the time. Well, actually, yes, as long as you have that data in CloudConnexa, the MCP server will be able to retrieve it and will be able to reason based on your question. That's actually one of the most useful applications of using the CloudConnexa MCP server. You're giving the artificial intelligence, the LLM model, access to the visibility of your usage of CloudConnexa, and it can reason beyond what's possible through the classical UI. And in fact, it can save you much time as well, because it's more efficient in terms of getting you that information. You don't have to go through the menus, through the filters, and it will get better with time as we expand the capabilities. Right, let's see the Q&A section just in case. I don't see anything there.
We'll probably give it a little bit more time, see if any additional
Yeah,
questions are being typed out.
maybe some follow-ups on those. But yes, in the future, we would like to very much make available the MCP server as a connector into ChatGPT. And as OpenAI works increasingly more on extensibility and compatibility with what the Model Context Protocol offers, that should be possible in the near future. And again, I'll just highlight this capability of FireUp. For example, it doesn't tie you to ChatGPT, the GPT models of OpenAI. You can really use any LLM model that has API key and basically has bring your own key ability.
Yeah, and for those of you who missed it, I dropped 2 links into the chat a little bit earlier. The link to the GitHub repository for downloading the MCP server, as well as the server guide for those who want to read more and know the exact steps to get started and get that set up.
Right. So a follow-up from Konstantin, that's right. That's exactly how it works. The MCP client will send the question as is to the AI, and the AI will interpret based on the MCP protocol, the schema, how to translate that into API calls. And then it will query for the data. That's right, Konstantin. You're welcome. Welcome. And thank you guys. Some good questions here. I know this is new and there will be more questions, but we're also continuously working on the documentation. There will be more videos and yeah, we hope to surprise you soon with everything else we're working hard on. All right.
Okay, that should be good. Thank you all again for joining for this session. And so we'll just one more question, Dimitar, before we jump off. Will the client be available on the phone?
Well, there are some clients that are available on phone, and for all the supported ones, you can check the documentation and see if it's available for your operating system. But also, some of them will be available via web as well, so you will be able to use them via your browser as well. Welcome.
Okay, thank you everyone for joining. We'll catch you all with our very last session next. Thank you again, Dimitar, for joining. Really appreciate it.
Jason, thank you, everyone.